Welcome to Center Heist Productions. It is April 13th, 2024. Please hit the likes and the subscribe down below in the right-hand corner. Muchly appreciated. If you could do that before you leave, that would help us grow this community larger, trying to make this a good, respectable community. All right, this is exactly what it states. It is a review of our game tonight, the Habs going into Ottawa, which ended up, I thought this originally was going to be an Ottawa victory easily. However, I didn't see Tim Stützle in the lineup, so that helped us a bit to make it a more even game for us. I assume he's injured. Otherwise, I'm sure he would have played. Anyhow, the game ended up going to a shootout, and the Sens won it. They have a great record going into overtime, so that's where they are solid. And it was basically Kachuk Caulfield night. The two of them, Caulfield had a great game as well, so that was good to see. Okay, so we're going to give you the stats first. First period, 1 goal apiece. Montreal had the lead 4 times and blew it this game, but for me, I'm very happy because I didn't want Ottawa to get ahead of us in the draft. So this game made me quite nervous. I wasn't happy gaining a point. Anywho, so 1-1 in the first period, 2-1 for the Habs in the second. Ottawa came back in the latter stages of the third to tie this up with an empty net. So they got 2 goals to 1 in the third, and no goals scored in the overtime. And we got a goal in the shootout. All right, Kachuk easily was the first star. I have to totally agree. 2 goals and an assist. Caulfield definitely should have been second star. He was our best player out there tonight for sure. 2 goals. And Jake Sanderson, who gets the winner, or actually no, 3 assists, sorry. And made a mistake, but he made up for it. Scoring summary, we're just going to go over that briefly. Mike Matheson, what a beautiful goal he goes into. And that's the thing. Nobody's knocking Mike Matheson's talent, his offensive capabilities. But for these guys, like I hear on certain podcasts, is condemning people who don't put Mike Matheson on a pedestal. Yes, he's offensively gifted. However, he is playing in a role that's above. Yes, he might be looking as a number 1 defenseman in the league. That's only because he's our best defenseman. Truthfully, he's a second-pair defenseman, and that's why his there's a lot of goals scored against us. So I'm sorry for certain individuals who want to run their mouth off on their podcasts, condemning people for. Not everybody has to like him, because I'll tell you something now. Let's get it very clear. Mike Matheson is not in the category of Larry Robinson. So those who want to sit there and pump that and condemn others, get over yourself. You may think you're too big for life. Get over yourself. You evidently haven't got an eye on hockey. Yes, I like Mike Matheson. Don't get me wrong. But if he was in his right chair, he would be a second pair. It's just that he is our best defenseman. Unfortunately, he coughs up. And it showed tonight. The amount of goals are scored against, and he wasn't the only one, because to me, Jaden Struble was our worst defenseman out there tonight by a landslide. He was shaky as heck all night, which he started to get more shaky, I would say, in the last 10 or so games. So he's not quite looking like how he looked when he first came in. It was a good thing that they got him and Barron apart, because Barron wasn't as bad as Struble, but he had some shaky moments too, and the two of them together, it wasn't a good combination. However, I don't know what this new system is of Montreal allowing players to get behind the defense and stand in front of the net, and they're not covered, because I've seen Matheson do it, I've seen Savard do it, I've seen Harris do it, I've seen Struble do it, I've seen them all do it, actually. And I don't. If this is a new coaching style, it's a huge mistake. You're supposed to clear the front of the net. There's no wonder goals like Keith Kachuk was left all alone. He was behind the defense, and they knew he was there, and you're going to leave that much space. You're not going to have time to get back there and react. So this system, it's got to change. It's got to be corrected. However, I'm glad for the loss, but our defense didn't impress me overall. It was yeah, and I think if Stutzel had been in the game, this would have been a different game. In my opinion, I think you could have added on another two or three because he just makes such a difference speed wise in counterattack. Anyway, it was a good fought out battle. Uh, Again, though, and that's why I say yes, that was a gorgeous goal. Matheson got on the first goal at 9:11, shorthanded, gorgeous goal. But please, he's not Larry Robinson, and you know who I'm talking about. I hear this crap on certain podcasts. I shouldn't name them because anywho, they know who they are because they get on with bigger wigs that are connected in the hockey world and they like to run their mouth to look big and fancy. Unfortunately, you're wrong. Just because he's our best, he's in the wrong chair. And yes, it's great to see him have all these goals, but if you had common sense and you see the goals that he's also allowing the other way, things really changed the numbers wise, and that's why Pittsburgh and Florida had him in second pairings. Because they had better defensemen, of course, than what we have right now. Ours got a mature, but very nice, and he had an all right game in my opinion compared to others on the decor. So that being said, then anyway, at 13:08, Kachuk ties the game up, assisted by Sanderson and Giroux on the power play, and like I say, getting left alone a lot in front of the net there. What did they expect? We were horrible on the penalty kill tonight. Um, Only positive was that shorthanded goal that Mike Matheson broke out on. 137, Cole Caulfield gets a nice goal, assisted by Struble and Savard. Nice to see him get it. He's on fire. He was like a magnet tonight. It's like the puck was attached to him on a string. And then at 8:36, Pinto scores, ties it up again. Assisted by Giroux and Brady Tkachuk, of course, on the power play. And then 13:05 of the second, Caulfield assisted by Matheson Newhook on a power play. Nice that we finally got one. Although 47 seconds into the third period on a power play, Keith, or Brady Tkachuk again, assisted by Batherson and Sanderson. You're going to keep leaving. He took it out in front of the net because, of course, the coverage was left on him when Matheson was responsible for that one. I know earlier one it was the pairing of Harris and Kovacevic, the first goal of Tkachuk. They didn't cover him properly, and on this one, it was on Matheson who went to the other opposite side. And if he had just stayed with Tkachuk, who was his man originally, he wouldn't have walked out in front of the net. So it is what it is, and that's what I say: deficiencies, and it's all of our defense. So that have some meltdowns here and there. But that's just his bigger weakness, and we have a couple other guys that have that weakness as well, like Savard. Savard's got to understand his foot speed is not there, so why he's way out, about 20 feet up from where he should be in front of the net, he's definitely not going to get back there, So I don't get it. So anyway, we have it up to there. Then Alex Newhook gets a goal, assisted by Brendan Gallagher, who had a really strong game, and David Savard. And at 18:55, Kachuk or Thomas Chabot scores, and that's when they had the empty net assisted by Drake Batherson and Jake Sanderson. So that was a nice tying goal as well, and it was a kind of a weird tip in front in the slot area, and it went up in a bumper spot actually, and it went up and it got deflected up by Chabot. But and of course Kachuk was in front of the net too, so it just didn't get to his stick because he had to go through Chabot's first. So that's the way it went, and then we had the shootout. Kachuk was stopped. Ylonen was stopped, and Ylonen didn't look good on the. Yeah, he didn't impress me in the game either. So but I was hoping that he would look good in the shootout. He just made one too many moves and outmoved himself. Batherson scores. Caulfield couldn't. Giroux, and we needed to tie it. Giroux couldn't score, and then Suzuki had the final shot and couldn't score either. Suzuki looked a little frustrated tonight with some of the cheap shots being taken on him, and there was some very questionable officiating in this game. But I was glad we got the loss. Anyway, drastic difference in shots. 44 to 25. We've been noticing that in the last few games. We're getting way outshot. We can't allow that. Surprising the score wasn't higher. And Primo had a fairly good game. I can't even knock him. He went, like I said, yes, he went down a couple times, and that's how he got beat up high. And in regulation time, like that Shabbat goal, and down too soon in his gloves. If he's looking really well down low, but if he can get that glove and blocker up to snuff, he may give Montembeau a run for his money, because he's very good low when he's got his head in the game. So hits 34 to 24 for the Sens. They were just brutal on us. Faceoffs 29 to 27 for the Habs. Power plays 3 for 6 for the Sens, and they look like they were better than that. And 1 for 3 for the Habs. Penalty minutes 12 for us. We were penalized heavily, and 6 for them. Giveaways 17 for us, 17 for them. That was fairly equal. Takeaways 7 for us, 12 for them. Block shots 16 and 19, and they outdid us in that department. First period, Joel Armia at 8:15 takes 2 minutes for high sticking. Yurei Skinjakal, I can't even pronounce his name. 9:38, 2 minutes for roughing. Nick Suzuki 11:38, 2 minutes for roughing, and 2 minutes for roughing. Delay game served by Brendan Gallagher. Okay, and I believe, yeah, okay. That was that. Second period was David Savard, 2 minutes for tripping, and we were just giving them power plays after power plays. 11:24, 2 minutes for too many men on the ice, served by Brady Tkachuk. 16:49, Claude Giroux, 2 minutes for tripping. 19:05, Josh Anderson, 2 minutes for interference. Third period, Joel Armia, 2 minutes for hooking. And it cost us. These penalties did cost us. So really, it was I don't know. It was an all right game. It wasn't. I've seen better Habs. It was nice to see it close. But like I say, it's kind of deceiving where Stutzel wasn't there. I'm sure we would have got blown out of the water. But it also, Jack Eye tends to make it, although they bring their top guy in too. But yeah, it was, they kind of edged us, and we were better on our chances because we had way less shots. I mean, they over doubled us, and it was clear to see they were outworking us. So they deserved the win, and they always kept fighting back, because we got the lead 4 times. You can't blow a lead 4 times. I mean, had this been a time when it mattered, this would have been an insult to, like I say, to blow the lead 4 times and lose the game. You deserve to lose in that regard. Yeah, it was an all right game. It was entertaining, somewhat. I wasn't overly impressed with it. Like I said, I find there's an issue. I'm starting to really eyeball an issue of defensemen in front of the net. They're getting, especially on the power plays or any type of cycle, they're getting caught too far out from front. Nobody's clearing the body in front of the net. They're leaving that person there or 2 people there and not touching them unscathed. You're going to get scored on. You leave them. You're a defenseman. Do your damn job. And this running around, it's evident to me that these guys don't know how to play zone. It's evident. The defense corps, anyway, that is. They don't seem to understand what the zone coverage is. You see guys chasing all the way up around when drop off on your man, stay in your zone, let the forward on that side take over up high. They don't do that. People don't know how to play their zone. I don't get what this big issue is, but to me, that's on your defense coach. And I do not like the system he has whatsoever. Not impressive. The only thing I can say, because the reins are so loose, yes, we are one of the top teams in scoring offensively, and that's only because we're allowed. We can make a million mistakes right now where it doesn't matter. But if the team ever has to get serious, this system is not working, and it's not going to work. This has got to be corrected. It's a pathetic way to set up. These guys have to know how to. And what you're telling me, Robitaille doesn't know how to teach zone coverage. I don't know. And you what? You got the system where your defensemen don't clear guys in front of the net. I don't get it. I see your offense doing a better job in front of the net than your defensemen. To be honest, I've now noticed that in a few games that it's between Armia, Slavkovsky, Caulfield, and Suzuki and Evans. These guys are doing a better job defensively than our defensemen, and that's got to change. But yeah, something going on with Struble. To me, he's been getting shaky last 10 to 15 games, I'd say. He has not been where he was in the first, 20 or 30 games he played. So he's starting to have problems keeping up with guys. There's no doubt, and falling over his feet at moments. He's making some errors, which, like I said, Barron still showing his true colors, and too many, like I say, too many defensive liabilities there in Barron's game for me. And a very talented offense, and he has improved. But I think he could catch you something half decent. You're going to have to clear out somebody. All I can say is you better think twice before you get rid of Harris. He's been one of our more responsible defensemen in the last stretch. So just because he's not flashy, you got enough flashy guys coming with we'll see Lane Hudson. I want to talk about that. That's great that he signed the contract, and I'm kind of glad they kept him out of tonight's game, and it made more sense where he's in the Detroit area anyway. It's easier for him to be there and start there. There's a lot of hometown type of stuff there for him, so great place for him to start and give him a shot. Why not? But that's what I'm saying. You got Lane Hudson, you got Mayu coming in. Who knows when Reinbacher? There's going to be a lot of offensive uh, defenseman weapons coming. So that's why I say your defensive or your more intelligent, reliable defenseman, you don't have as many of those. You better hold on to them because you've got enough scoring defensemen coming up, and even Enstrom coming in, and he's half decent both ways. So to me, I think before you end up, I hear the talk a lot in the different podcasts, and everybody's ready to hang it up on Harris. You better think twice because again, when you look at his stability, he's been our most stable defenseman for the last stretch now. Several games since he's come back from that injury, he's looked a lot better. Yeah, they all have their moments, no doubt about it, but out of them all, he's been one of the more responsible guys, and where you got a lot of guys that want to play that offensive game, and some of them are just brutal on the defensive side and cough up the puck more, and that's why I say take the trade for them, and you might want to get rid of one of those type of defensemen, and that's why I put Barron in that class, and you even got to start debating on Struble. He's starting to look shaky. I don't know. You're going to have to look at him closely, though. That's for sure. And I know they're probably looking at Kovacevic. However, same thing. I know we need our veteran defenseman probably for at least this year coming. But boys, two different problems. Like for me, I can see Matheson being there a couple more years. Savard will probably be gone at trade deadline. But it's good to see Lane Hudson in now. I don't get I'm happy. I'm all in this kid's corner because I'm always for the underdog. Where the size thing is. And yes, but you don't see me going crazy because of what he's doing in college hockey. And I'm very simple. College hockey is a whole different world than the NHL. So you can't start when you got defensemen that have already proved themselves in Montreal. We've got younger defensemen that have already proved themselves to be NHL caliber. You can't say that about somebody who hasn't been there yet. I'm hoping for him, but boy, he's going to really need to be insulated. Like hopefully Reinbacher of Mayu will be his partner, or someone of that nature, or Jack Eye or something, because he's going to need that because he's very small, and I think maybe you might be just use him as the seventh defenseman and use him on the power play. And that would also alleviate things on Mike Matheson. Maybe he can start thinking about playing hockey, because next year the reins have got to be pulled back on these defensemen to be more responsible. They got away with it this year, but if you truly want to start turning the corner and running for a playoff spot, the reins have to be pulled back. They can't just go wide open and leave their positions wide open with all these cough-ups. You're not going to win that way. So that's got to be taken into account. So yeah, I'm welcoming Lane Hudson in his corner 100%, but I'm not over the top until the guy shows me what he can do in the NHL. Translation in the NHL. I'll be more than, I have no problem being in the guy's corner when he shows that he can translate that to the NHL. That's a big difference, though. Too many people are jumping, oh, you can't compare apples to oranges. College hockey numbers to NHL numbers. Get over it. Come on. Use some common sense. Love the kid, but those are college numbers. Big world of a difference. Look at the game-winning goal. That he can't do that in the NHL. He was responsible for the cough-up. Good kid, but that's why I say, before you go shooting all these other guys down who are on the Habs defense that have proven to be NHLers, now the rest of them that haven't shown it yet have got to prove it. Lane Hudson, Mayu, Reinbacher. So that's all I have to say on that. Be sensible. We will see Lane for 2 games. There's no doubt. I hope they're smart enough to go with 11 forwards and 7 defensemen for those 2 games. But it'd be interesting to see him. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm very looking forward to it. And I'm really in his corner. I hope it does end up translating, but I don't jump. I don't put the cart before the horse. So thank you for following the channel. That was the thing. So Monday night we'll do the review of most likely Lane Hudson's debut. So this should be interesting. Let's hope the Detroit Red Wings take these 2 games, but keep it respectable. That's all we got to do is keep it respectable, close. So where's puck drop first? Here at Center Heist. You've seen it here first. And we give you a realistic view. We're excited about our players, but we also are very realistic when we compare college stats to the NHL stats. You got to prove yourself before you can sit there and get on a bandwagon. But thank you for joining me. We will catch you in Detroit, and we'll see what happens there. I hope the kid lights it up. That's what I'm hoping for, and I think he might be a better answer for the power play in Matheson's position, because this might alleviate some pressure from Matheson. Because Matheson his skating is, I don't think anybody can touch him. His skating is gorgeous, no doubt about it. But if he can get his defensive side of the game, but they all got to work on some issues in front of the net there, leaving it out open in front of the net. Thank you for joining me. We'll catch you in the review Monday night. Season's almost over. 2 more games to go, and the Islanders got an extra point today. I believe Detroit beat Toronto. They got their 2 points, and those are kind of the 2 teams I'm hoping win it in this race. I'm kind of hoping that, especially Washington, I'm hoping they don't make it. Thank you for joining me. We'll catch you and see you in the next one. God bless.